Fluoride? Forget about it. The federal government is trying to make a big change to your water and faucets nationwide. Will they succeed? Answers just ahead.
She could still be here, if we started the CPR sooner.
Plus, a few minutes can make all the difference. First responders and neighbors await a much-needed new fire station on Padre Island. Neighborhood News reporter Erin Holly speaks with a woman who says this change could have saved her child's life. Chris 6 News starts now. And we thank you for joining us. I'm Andy Lascano. Have you or your neighbors ever been fined $500 for watering your lawn or washing your car? For most Americans, it sounds bizarre, right? But here in the Coastal Bend, it's a way of life. Since December, listen to this. Since December, the city has issued more than 160 citations for water violations, totaling more than $61,000 in fines. The average fine's over $400 a day, with some climbing as high as $500. But when you break it up, the numbers just don't seem to add up. In February, District 3 had 20 open cases, but only 4 citations were issued. District 1 had 0 open cases, yet still recorded 4 citations. This is raising questions about how fines are applied. Residents are urged to call 311 with complaints about water violations. So, how do you avoid being cited? Well, here are some commonly asked questions from you, the residents. Watering your lawn, not allowed, but you can water your trees, vegetable beds, and potted plants with a handheld hose before 10 in the morning or 6 at night. It's getting hot out, so can you use your pool? The answer is, of course you can, but the city wants you to keep the cover on as much as possible to avoid evaporation. And what about your boat, your car? Can you wash vehicles? Only on your designated watering day and with a 5-gallon bucket. So, if you want to know the watering schedule in your neighborhood or just want to know more about Stage 3 water restrictions, scan the QR code you see on your screen. Now, if you can't water your lawn, then who do you turn to? Well, Mother Nature. We're joined now by meteorologist Julia Quade. Can neighbors count on any rain to keep the grass looking green this summer? I mean, what are you seeing in the future?
Well, for this week and for next week, it's not looking promising at all to have any rain in the forecast. Of course, we had that cold front pass through over this past weekend, and now we're being dominated by high pressure, just further reinforcing those dry conditions currently in place here in the Coastal Bend. So that pretty much takes away any opportunity for us to see any rainfall in the forecast for now. But looking at our Whataburger Sky Camera Whataburger Field, what is going to be on repeat for our weather pattern for now is going to be, again, those dry conditions, clear sunny skies, and warm temperatures that will eventually cool off yet again for us tonight, with a bit of a chill factor added towards that for us this evening. You can see those gorgeous blue skies. Looking at our sky cam here, temperatures are going to be a tad bit warmer today compared to yesterday. See those temperatures now reaching towards the upper 70s or towards the low 80s. 78 degrees here in Corpus Christi, 79 over in Robstown, 84 degrees here in Kingsville, and 83 over in Alice. But again, those dry conditions are still remaining in the forecast, as well as those wind speeds beginning to increase and pick up, now switching over more towards southeasterly flow with faster wind speeds for areas that are further along the coast. But again, more details on this repeat weather pattern, how long we expect it to last in the forecast, coming up in just the next few minutes.
All right, Julia, we'll look forward to that. Now, locally, the city's been investigating complaints of bad taste in our drinking water, but nationally, federal government is looking to make changes to everybody's faucet by removing fluoride. The state of Utah just announced it'll be the first state to ban fluoridation of public water systems. U.S. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. was there today to support the change and plans to recommend this switch across the country. Scripps News Group's Maya Rodriguez has more on this developing story.
Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. says he plans to tell the CDC to stop recommending fluoridation in public water systems nationwide.
It makes no sense to have fluoride in our water.
The Environmental Protection Agency says it's reviewing new scientific information on potential health risks of fluoride in drinking water. A report by the government's National Toxicology Program summarized several non-U.S. studies last year to conclude drinking water with more than 1.5 milligrams of fluoride per liter was associated with lower IQs in children. But the number referenced in the study is more than double the 0.7 milligrams per liter the CDC recommends, even though the EPA allows a maximum of 4 milligrams per liter. Saperna Mahalaha is a dental medicine professor.
The bottom line is, that those studies are looking at levels of fluoride that are much higher than what we have in our safe drinking waters that are monitored, here in our country.
Fluoride is a mineral that research has shown strengthens teeth and prevents tooth decay. Proponents say restricting it could cause harm to dental health. The CDC's recommendations are not mandatory, but they are widely followed by local communities. Many health experts worry if communities ban fluoride in water, it could disproportionately harm the oral health of those with less access to dental care, like seniors and low-income families. Maya Rodriguez, Scripps News Group, Washington.
Well, now, the story of water fluoridation goes all the way back to the 20th century. The first water fluoridation experiment was in Grand Rapids, Michigan in 1945. By the 60s, fluoride was included in water across the country and even the world after discovering its significantly reduced cavities. Now, well, there's some skepticism around fluoride because of its effect on the human brain and the availability of dental care. The divide in opinion on this issue has led the government to re-examine water fluoridation.
As of right now, there's only one fire station on Padre Island, but not for long. I'm Erin Hawley, your Padre Island neighborhood news reporter, and I timed myself driving to the next closest one on Mustang Island. It took me 10 minutes to get there, and for one island neighbor, those extra minutes made all the difference.
I wish that they were here a year ago. I think the outcome might have been different.
Nueces County ESD2 is expanding from Flower Bluff to the island.
Them having to go over the bridge and go to a local hospital, it's 15, 16 minutes out. And so, yeah, having a backup would be amazing.
Neighbors like Sherry Colvahouse are relieved to hear that there will be 2 fire stations and double the amount of first responders out here.
So she passed away on March 20th, 2024 last year. She passed away from sudden, unexpected death and epilepsy. It's a rare complication that happens to people with epilepsy.
Sherry is talking about her daughter Kaylee, who died at age 15. Sherry and her family wonder if things could have been different if there were more emergency services on the island at this time last year.
Unfortunately, it took 16 minutes for them to arrive, which is usually not the case. I mean, they're usually 3 minutes to 5 minutes.
Sherry said Corpus Christi Fire Station 15 on the island had quickly responded to 7 of Kaylee's previous seizures at their house. But this time around, Station 15, the only EMS on Padre Island, were helping another patient at a hospital over the bridge. That's why it took them so long to get there.
If there were more resources for first responders out here on the island last year, do you think your daughter might still be alive today?
There's that feeling that, maybe, possibly it could have benefited Kaylee. She could still be here, if we started the CPR sooner.
Sherry and her family hope no other families will go through what they went through.
We feel that any amount of emergency response improvement on Padre Island is a benefit to all the residents and business owners.
The new ESD2 station will be on Compass Street, where the Christus Trinity Clinic currently is. Nueces County ESD2 says they hope to have the new island station up and running by Memorial Day. On Padre Island, I'm your neighborhood news reporter, Erin Hawley, Chris 6 News.
One privilege of being an American is the right to speak your mind. I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Live Oak County. I'll introduce you to a couple of Three River Prison correctional officers who are voicing their concerns with the president's exclusion from Federal Labor Management Relations Program's executive order.
This is Veterans in Focus, sponsored by the Heil Law Firm, battling for justice, winning for the community.
Welcome back. Scams are everywhere in our modern world, but recent data suggests scams are frequently targeting veterans, current service members, and their families. So a new Federal Trade Commission report even shows veterans reported losing more money to these types of crimes last year. The FTC estimates veterans lost $419 million to fraud last year alone. That's why for this week's Veterans in Focus, our own Michelle Hoffman is arming you with the tools you need to protect yourself from becoming the next target. You'll want to catch her Veterans in Focus report tonight on Chris 6 News at 6. Well, from tariffs to renaming the Gulf, President Trump's first 100 days have been full of headlines, and a recent executive order has targeted a key group, unions. Trump signed an executive order last week to end collective bargaining for most federal employees. It includes the Bureau of Prisons, which has created more confusion in an agency already facing challenges. Neighborhood News reporter Melissa Trevino is at the Federal Correction Institute in Three Rivers, where the Council of Prison Locals is speaking against the change.
I'm Melissa Trevino, your neighborhood news reporter in Live Oak County. Caleb French and Justin Gonzalez are correctional officers voicing their concerns with the president's exclusion from Federal Labor Management Relations Program's executive order. So the executive order would do what?
It would take away the employee's voice, in essence. Everything that we do, everything that we've done is all taken away. All the agreements are taken away. Along with that, we're one of the main ones that report the waste, fraud, and abuse.
Caleb French is the Council of Prison Locals Union C33 president. He's been a correctional guard for 13 years at the Federal Correctional Institution in Three Rivers. He says unions work with prison management on safety procedures needed at prisons nationwide.
So there's a lot of procedures and practices and equipment that we've able to get because of the union.
French and his colleague Justin Gonzalez tell me the union gives them
safety equipment, things like, we got the vests. We've had officers in the line of duty killed. The vests, chemical agents, things like that. That was all brought on from the union fighting for that.
Gonzalez says he's been a correctional officer for nearly 15 years, but now
people that might have to find other jobs, move away, it's possible. Some people take the job here and they move here.
The officers tell me the prison employs about 250 who live in Live Oak County, Nueces County, and as far as Bexar County. If they move, Gonzalez says the impact will be felt in the small towns that make up this county. Kids will be taken out of schools and small businesses will lose customers.
It's hard to get people into work in a prison to begin with. Taking away all these agreements that we have that help benefit not only staff but management too, it's going to cause even more shortages, not only here but nationwide.
These law enforcement officials tell me without the union umbrella, prison employees may get seriously hurt, physically and fiscally. Covering your neighborhood news in Live Oak County, I'm Melissa Trevino, Chris 6 News.
All right, now taking outside, looking at our sky cam over at SPID, we can see some folks are hitting those roadways, getting ready to head on home potentially, or maybe just getting off of work and heading on somewhere else. Either way, traffic flows to be moving pretty decently in both directions there on SPID. Let's go ahead and now take a look at those other roadways to see what you can expect for your drive for this afternoon. Heading from Portland over to Harbor Bridge in both directions, looking at pretty easy and clear driving conditions. Moving now towards downtown, got a bit of a mixture of medium to slow speeds happening on Ocean Drive. Same thing on portions of SPID and Saratoga. Moving on over to Flower Bluff, got some medium to slow speeds happening on Waldron Road and Flower Bluff Drive, but pretty much all clear heading to and from the island on the JFK Causeway. That's it for your Top Report. The details of your forecast coming up. Hey there, welcome back. I'm meteorologist Julia Quady. Still got that same weather pattern on repeat for us here in the coastal bend. Got mostly sunny skies, little to no cloud cover, dry conditions still persisting in the forecast. Now, one small difference though, we're starting to see a little bit of an increase in our wind speeds. Winds also now shifting to a southeasterly direction. That's going to eventually mean for us warmer temperatures on the way for the latter half of this work week. Right now, taking a look at our live Sand Dollar City sky cam over in Port Aransas, we can see not too many folks out there really taking advantage of that gorgeous sunshine, maybe because it doesn't quite count towards beach weather for some folks. I know for me, it doesn't quite match for me because we're still looking at temperatures still towards the low to maybe mid to upper 70s. Here in Corpus Christi, though, sitting at 78 degrees. Robstown also matching at that air temperature. 83 over in Kingsville, as well as Alice. 82 in Mathis and 79 degrees over in Beeville. So those temperatures are gradually warming up, but really that moisture is just now beginning to pick on up, so we won't see a big difference in those temperatures truly starting to reach near and then above average until the next few days for us this week. Right now, looking at our current dew point values, we can see those still technically more towards the drier range, around 40 for those dew point values or lower. 35 over in Beeville, 46 over in Portland and here in Corpus Christi. But again, with those dew points that will be expected to increase ever so slightly over the next few days, that's all going to be attributed towards that moisture increase from our winds now switching towards a southeasterly direction. But for now, that dry pattern is going to stay consistent in our forecast. We can see, looking at our visible satellite, that's going to mean for us no cloud cover really across the area here in South Texas. So that's why we're still looking at mostly sunny conditions for us yesterday and now for us today on this Tuesday. We can see those winds now shifting more towards the southeasterly direction and also picking up in their speed and intensity for us this afternoon, going nearby 16 miles an hour here in Corpus Christi. 17 miles an hour for your wind speeds being clocked over in the Bluff, and 11-mile-an-hour winds over in Port Aransas. We'll see those winds continue to be mostly towards that range, but then still continue to decrease ahead for us tonight. And that's why you can expect, again, our temperatures to fall pretty quickly for us for our evening hours, very similar to yesterday evening, too. Now, taking a look at our pollen forecast, I don't know if you guys have noticed. I know for me, I have issues with allergies, so you may have noticed that you may have to take maybe some allergy medicine over the past few days, and that's going to continue for us throughout the rest of our week. And that is going to be because our pollen count has increased for a couple of our main allergen here. So this includes oak, sycamore, and grass. So if you're a little bit more sensitive to those type of allergens, you're going to notice that you may have to take your allergy medicine today and tomorrow. Bit of a decrease in those allergens ahead for your Thursday before they start to pick back up again as we approach the weekend. So you may want to limit your time outdoors a bit if you are particularly more sensitive to those type of allergens. And if you still want to stick it out to head outdoors, you can do that. Just maybe need to take those allergy pills. But looking at our baseball forecast for the opening night for the Corpus Christi Hooks, we'll be looking at our temperatures around 75 degrees by the time we have the first pitch at 6:30. Winds will still be coming in around 10 miles an hour. By the time the game ends and you're starting to head on home, we'll start to see a 10-degree decrease in our temperatures around 65 degrees rather, with our wind speeds clocking a little bit more slower, more calm, around 5 miles an hour at that point. So that's what we'll start to see yet again under those clear skies, lower wind speeds. We'll see our temperatures once again drop towards a more chillier range into the 50s across most of our neighborhoods. But looking at our 7-day forecast, just sunny and comfortable conditions that will last pretty much throughout the rest of this week toward this weekend, with temperatures gradually increasing to the upper 80s.
All right, Julia Quady, thanks for that. It is a big day at Whataburger Field. We've got what you need to know for opening day. Next. Well, two of the most exciting words in baseball, opening day. The Corpus Christi Hooks begin their 20th anniversary season tonight at beautiful Whataburger Field. Check out freshly cut grass, infield all ready to go, fans excited. Now you can see on our Whatacam Skycam the gorgeous weather for the big day, and of course it wouldn't be opening day without some fanfare included. So listen to this, the Hooks are debuting a brand new logo. There it is, right there on the cap for their 20th anniversary. They're also giving away some free swag to celebrate. The first 3,000 fans, well, they're going to receive a Hooks fan ring to commemorate the milestone. The first 2,000 fans will also receive a Hooks opening night t-shirt. Tonight in game one of 69 home games at Whataburger Field, they'll face the San Antonio Missions. First pitch is at 6:35. And listen to this. If you stick around till the end of the game, you'll be treated to a fireworks show, just like they do after every Friday night home game. So,
Cryer, 6 seconds, 5 seconds, sharp. He walked, he can't touch it. He can't, 1 second, and it's over. Florida is back on top of the college basketball world. Championship madness.
yeah, madness indeed. It was the heartbreaking scene for the Houston Cougars last night as they lost to Florida in the national championship game. Cougars led for most of the game before the Gators mounted a comeback. It's Florida's first championship since 2008. And for Houston, Wow, I don't know how you get over that, but a tragic end to a great season. So, gorgeous day in the coastal bend. Stick around to find out if sunny skies will continue through the rest of the week when we come back.
You're watching Chris 6, part of the Scripps News Group.
All right, one more look at the forecast. Julia, we know you love tennis. Is it tennis weather outside yet?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
I like
Okay.
it hot though. Just for
Okay.
for me, tomorrow and going forward will be tennis weather to me. We'll see those
Okay.
temperatures start to increase as we get more of that onshore flow. From our winds now shifting towards the southeasterly direction today. So that's going to mean a little bit humidity. That's going to add towards our temperatures increasing to near and above average towards the end of this week. But still going to be plentiful sunshine. Still going to be comfortable all throughout the coastal bend. So even if you aren't a tennis fan, whatever your outdoor activity looks like, you'll enjoy that for us throughout the rest of the week and heading towards this upcoming weekend. And we'll be stuck in this dry weather pattern, not for this week alone, but even heading towards next week.
No, there's nothing wrong with high 80s there, nothing at all. And then try to make it out to the Hooks game. Season opener tonight at Whataburger Field. We'll see you again at 6.